Hello, my friends. It's Jules Caldwell back here again for yet another awesome interview with one of the speakers who's going to be on the Beautiful Voices panel at Ignite 2022 on Thursday, September 15th. Josevie, welcome to our introducing segments that we're doing to introduce all of the speakers at the event.
Thank you, Jules. I love that. I
I
love
go by
that.
both.
Yeah, I love that nickname. It's
Thank
funny.
you.
My youngest son's name is Bjorn, and one of his aunts speaks French, and she calls him Bijou, which
Ah,
means
for
jewel.
Jewel. Yeah, I
Yes.
love it. It's funny. I had this conversation with one of the ladies who's actually going to be speaking at a Decker yesterday, and because she was one of the inaugural crew that started calling me Jules, and I always struggled with that, but I've embraced it now as that's
Yeah,
part of my personality and
you
who
are.
I am.
I love it.
Well, welcome, and I'm so glad
Thank
to
you.
have you join us here. You're the last of my introductions of all of the amazing women who are going to be speaking at the conference. And just in time, our last day for early bird registration is tomorrow. One more sleep, as my kids would say, until early bird registrations. And so I think this is a terrific way to sort of end the introducing segment piece and just get to know you a little bit more. So why don't we start, Josevie, with tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, first, I want to say I'm super honored that you would even have me here. I am a serial entrepreneur. I started my first business when I was 20 years old.
Good for you.
Um, well, back then, people didn't think it was so good because I
No.
didn't finish college. I decided very early on that I didn't want to spend more money for education. I learned about alternative education, other ways to learn how to know what you need in order to make money. And so there's lots of different ways that people, and of course it's popular now, but back then it wasn't so
Not
popular.
so much.
And so fast forward, I'm giving away my age, 30 something years later. And I am now the publisher, president, and CEO of Black Card Books. And I'm proud to be that. It's been a long journey. One of the reasons that I'm so proud to be a president and CEO, publisher of the publishing company, is because I wrote my first book when I was 8 years old.
8 years
So
old.
8 years
Wow.
old, I was in the third grade, and my third grade teacher saw a talent that I had and had me write my own book. I did the illustrations, everything. She entered me into a contest. I didn't even know I was being entered into a contest, and I won first place. My book was published by the state of Illinois. I'm in the US when I was 8 years old. So I always thought that I would grow up and be like, I don't know, Edgar Allan Poe or right? I'd
Yeah.
be writing like Huckleberry Finn, Charles Dickens kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
always thought I'd grow up and be a famous author. And so, like so many other women, you get older, and as you start life gets in the way.
Oh yeah.
You don't always get to realize your dreams because you just start being who you need to be for everyone else and not totally for yourself, even though you think you're doing it for yourself, and you are.
Yeah.
But there's always something that we tend to push behind. And for me, it was my dream of being an author.
Mm. So when did that, so I love that, from such an early age, that was something that you wanted to do. And I know that you've had quite an interesting journey in your life, and I don't want to take everything away from what will come out at the Ignite session, but, what brought you back to this love of writing and being an author?
I'm going to tell you, it was my husband.
Ah, okay. You tell.
I went to a seminar, I hate to say this, but this is what happened. I went to a seminar, um, probably about, I don't know, 9 years ago, and my children are all grown. My youngest son, I think at that time, was 18, so he was the last one. And my husband and I had always promised that when our children were old enough, we would be able to do whatever it is that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, I had given up on my dreams. So we went to this seminar and they had this book writing seminar that you could buy a ticket for and you could learn how to be an author, a successful author. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the whole thing. And my husband just goes, he starts doing this. And I'm like, what? He goes, this is what you always wanted to do. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably never going to do that. He goes, no, Josevie, this is what you've always wanted to do. And I said, yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. No, you're going to do it. This is what you've always wanted to do. Come on, get up, go get the ticket. It's only $49. Go get the ticket.
Love it.
I was like,
okay,
and
sure.
it's, yeah. But I'll tell you, once I paid for that ticket, there was a little flicker of hope.
Ignited.
It was. It literally, and I think it's so important for us to surround ourselves with people who support our dreams. Because even if we are not supporting our own dreams, if we surround ourselves with people who support our dreams, so my best friend was there. And she went with me to go get the ticket. She was the one who showed up when I finally went to that seminar, and I had to I literally sat on the toilet in the bathroom with my clothes on and cried. Yeah, because I thought I have to do this. If I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do what I always thought I would do. And so full circle, I'm doing it.
And not just writing a book, but president
But
and
helping
CEO.
others. Yes. Helping other people achieve that dream of writing their book. We all have a story in us.
Yeah.
And so to be able to get that out, to heal during that process of writing our own books, and to share that and help, you don't know how many other people's lives you can touch by just sharing your own story. And so I feel so privileged to be a part of it, just to be a part of that.
Okay, I've got like super chills all over. You're just talking my language. I mean, I love so much of what you just shared there. And so I'm going to sort of backpedal a little bit. One of the things you talked about was, as women, I often refer to it as sort of getting lost, right? We shuffle through life, we pick up these roles and responsibilities, we become, a friend, a wife, a mother, colleague, a volunteer, and very slowly we start to lose ourselves in the midst of very good intentioned actions and desires of doing things. But then there does come this point where we're like, where am I in the midst of all of this? And so I love that your prodding came from your husband, and he was like, no. He listened, he knew, and it was like, you got to do this. And then the moment it was like brought back to the surface, it was like, for you.
Yes.
Exciting.
I can tell you that day when I went to the event and sat on the toilet crying, that was a moment in my life that I knew I had to do this. Like I knew beyond a shadow, I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to get this done. I have to do this. Like, this is what it's funny when I literally was shaking, giving them my credit card. Here, take my money. I said that. Take my money. I had tears, and the girl said, you don't have enough. And I couldn't believe she said. So I looked at the guy and I said, I was born for this. You have to take my money.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people say that. You have to take my money. But it's remember I said that little flicker, that fire was like whoosh. And I just knew, I mean, I'm a grandmother, and I thought I have to do this, not just for me. It's not just for me. I have to show the world, my children, I have to leave a legacy of, you can do this. You can do whatever it is that, if I don't leave this legacy for my own family, that as a woman, I have a daughter, I have 5 sons and 1 daughter. So if I'm not the person who leaves the legacy for her, for them, for my grandchildren, for my neighbors, my cousins, my nieces, my, nephews, everybody, if I am not the person to do this, who's going to do it? You see movie stars and sports, people, you think they can do it because they're special. Yeah. But when it's a regular, average, everyday person, your mother, your sister, your daughter, I think we all have that responsibility, and then of course you never know how big your dream is, how that's going to impact the world. It
Yeah.
only takes one dream to impact the entire world.
I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm like, I don't know what more to say because it's like, mic drop. You've just said it all. So powerful. And,
It's
for exactly all the reasons you've just described, which is why I want to do this conference, this Ignite
Yep.
2022 conference, is I think there are so many of us who
Yeah.
have just lost ourselves, who are afraid to take that step. And what you described, that moment where you were sitting on the toilet and you were just, like in tears, you know, I don't know that I want to encourage the women that are going to be at the conference to be sitting on the toilet in tears, but I want them to walk away from the conference feeling ignited and
Yeah.
being reminded that whatever that passion is that they have, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever that is, that they can do it and they can
Yes,
just
they
do it.
absolutely can.
And one step, you and I were talking just before we started here, we were saying sometimes it's just one thing a day that we make a conscious decision, a choice to do. And then the next day it becomes two things. And the next day it's three things. And then all of a sudden we're holding a conference.
That's
We're like,
right.
what?
Yeah, that's right. Jules, I want to say this to your audience, because we make it sound simple, we make it sound easy because we're doing it now,
Yeah.
right? But it isn't, and there's going to be obstacles along the way, and I'm sure you've had moments where you're like, should I keep going? Why am I doing this? did I get it right? Is this really what I want to do? Is this who I
Were you
really
here
want to be?
yesterday when I had my meltdown?
No, I wasn't. I didn't know. But that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, for anybody who's even thinking about coming to the conference, it's being around like-minded people. It's being in an environment where you're learning, where you're growing. Those are the things that are going to help keep you from quitting. Those are the things that are going to help push you. Those are the things that are going to help you to reach your goals, to reach your dreams, to be whoever it is that you want to be and do whatever it is you want to do. You look back in history at women and those who were the most successful. I mean, we all say it, quitters never win, winners never quit. And I just wanted to throw that out there because, I mean, you're an example of that. You just said it. You're putting together this conference. It's amazing. You're giving back, and your dream, you don't know how many people it's going to impact. And every single woman out there can do that. I believe we're all born for a reason. And I think that every single person has the power and the ability to impact others in whatever it is that they're doing. Whether they're creating, there's a lady I see on Facebook, and she's creating like Spanx, these Spanx, I forget what she calls them. They're not Spanx. I can't think of the name right now. But she's got all these models that bloop, 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 they pull up their
tuck it all in.
Exactly. But I know women who are using it and they just feel so much better. And I'm thinking, this woman, she's just got a bloop, bloop, pull it up, suck it in product that she just created. Like, she could have said, well, they already have Spanx.
Yeah.
But she didn't do that. She did what she wanted to do. And now I know of women who are using that product and they're so happy. It's a life changer for them.
Life changer.
Yeah, it could be anything that you want to do.
Yeah. Well, and that's, yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm on the verge of tears, but tears of like, yes, like it's just, I'm so in agreement with everything that you're saying. And I think, even as I look at the conference and moving things forward in my mind, if just one woman comes to that event and has a moment of clarity, like you described, for themselves, and they walk away and they do something of impact for them. And that could be like, starting a knitting club or running a marathon or launching a business, whatever, then that's worth it, right? And Ignite. It's intentionally called Ignite for a reason. It's like ignite that spark, that thing that's buried inside that we've forgotten about. So, oh, Josevie, I'm so I'm so on fire for everything that you said. I couldn't imagine a better way to wrap up our introducing series. And you know, you're a woman on the go. You've got lots happening in your life. Is
Yes,
there? Have you got another book underway, or
I
you know,
do.
like,
Actually, I
you?
do. I have several.
You
So I
wouldn't
have
be a
grandchildren
photographer if you
now.
didn't.
Yeah, it's true. I have grandchildren now, and I just started a nonprofit organization to promote literacy.
Mm,
Because one of the things that I've learned, so with my own children, we read books to them.
yeah.
With my grandchildren, they'd rather pick up my cell phone.
Right?
So I want to create a book that is going to help promote literacy. I want kids to start reading again. I want them to find the
Yeah.
joy in reading. And so that's one of the things that I'm working on as well.
I love it. I love it. I gotta say, that just makes me think when my kids were growing up, there was a book, Sheep in a Jeep. I'm not sure there were a whole lot of really good words in it, but it got them excited. Sheep in a Jeep go beep, beep, beep. And
Yep,
they're 20 and 22, and we still talk about sheep in a Jeep.
that's cool. That
But
is so
it gets
cool.
them excited about learning and reading and things
Yes,
like that. So,
yes. That's
all
so
right.
important too.
Yeah.
I mean, you
It
think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, my friend, I don't want to keep you too much longer. Thank you so much for joining us. And I was going to ask you, so maybe we can just wrap up. For women who are on the edge of their seat,
Yeah.
still trying to decide whether or not to come or not, early bird deadline is on Wednesday, one more sleep away. Maybe a word of wisdom around, why they should consider investing in themselves to come to this event.
I think every woman knows why they should do it. But
Mm,
I'll reiterate, I just recently, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I just recently was hospitalized for 5 days.
yeah.
I'm fairly young in my own mind anyway. I realized I'm not as young physically as I think I am mentally. I mean, I am a grandma, right? I look in the mirror and I look younger than I am. So I think I tricked myself some kind of way. But I could have died. I mean, if I had gotten to the hospital 10 minutes later, I might not even be here to be able to take this call, which is why I'm so honored and privileged to be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know, I can't stress enough how important it is for us to take care of us,
Yeah.
because I was missing that just a little bit, just by working. I enjoy what I do. And so COVID, we don't get out much anymore. I
Yeah.
used to be extremely active, and now I'm less active because, we're just now starting to go outdoors and just now. And so what I did was I created a bad paradigm for myself by working a lot. I enjoyed what I do so much that it didn't feel like working, but I sat behind a desk, behind a computer all day and all night. It caused some health complications for me. And so I just want to say to women that, time isn't guaranteed. If
Yeah.
you are serious about your own success, if there is anything that you want to do in life, you have to do it. You just have to do it. What do you want to be remembered by? And if you don't know the answer to that question, I'll tell you something real quick, Jules.
Yeah.
I know we got to go.
No,
But
that's
I
okay.
remember I remember someone asking me the question, "What's your heart's desire?" And
Mm,
I did not even know the answer.
yeah.
I couldn't even write it down. I had no idea what the answer was. And now I can write a whole page of what my heart. And so if you don't even know what your heart's desire is, you should come. But
Mm,
especially if you do know your heart's desire, you absolutely need to be here and be surrounded by women who are like-minded, who can encourage you, who can tell you their stories.
yeah.
I live off of stuff like this. It's these kinds of conferences, and people like you who have made me who I am today. I
Mm,
can't take all the credit, because remember, I had to learn alternative methods of learning to get me where I am today. And
yep.
this is part of it. This is part of that education that you'll never get in school. No one will ever tell you the things that you need to hear in order to create your success, help you with your destiny, except for when you come to events like Ignite.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't
that's
that
what this is
crazy?
created for. I
Yeah,
know.
isn't that
It's the
crazy
truth.
that in school we can't get that kind of brilliance and wisdom that's actually so desperately needed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes, and for some people, they don't get it in their family life either.
No,
And
no.
so, you just have to do it, guys. I mean, it's not an option. If you're serious about your success, this is not optional. You should be doing these, invest in yourself all the time. And because life changes, you change. And as you start to meet more speakers, as you start to listen to more stories, you'll start to have those aha moments in your own mind. And there's nothing like it in the world. Don't just settle. Do you. We had an event that we used to it was called Do You in 2022. We don't have that event anymore. But I would say to all of you, do
Yeah.
you in 2022. Don't
Mm.
let another year go by, another month go by, another week, another day, because tomorrow you said is the last day for the early bird, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So don't let another day go by. If you're really wanting to ignite whatever it is, ignite yourself. Even if you don't have anything,
Yep.
but you just want to be better at what you're currently doing. You could already be doing it, which is great. Kudos
Yep.
to you. But what's
Absolutely.
going to keep you going? It's these conferences, it's these meetings of the mind that will keep you going and keep you happy.
Oh my gosh. All right. So excited. And just want to take a quick moment to shout out. I see Virginia's been sharing a whole lot of, you dropped quite a few, Josevie, really good statements there. And so Virginia's been capturing them. The time
Thank
is
you,
now.
Virginia.
Great question. What's your heart's desire? Christina's here with us. She says, do you in 2022. I think we've adopted that now. It's a good one. So folks, my friends, please, if you haven't registered yet, take advantage of the opportunity to get the early bird
Absolutely.
rate. Sign up, come and join us, link arms. You are not alone in this
No.
journey, and we are all here together to grow, to learn, to change, to evolve, to just ignite ourselves and just come together and bring tremendous impact to the world. Josevie, thank you so much. I'm so looking forward to having you be a part of this conference. And I
Thank
wish you
you.
all the best. And to all of our viewers, in living and loving the life you live, have a
Yes.
spectacular rest of your evening.
And we'll see you guys at the event.
See you soon. All right.